Rose Joshua, President of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, Chicago Southside Branch. Welcome to Conversations with Candidates, a candidates forum sponsored by the NAACP, Chicago Southside Branch, and the Lambda Mu Omega and Chi Omega chapters of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And also, thank you to Green Grove Missionary Baptist Church and Pastor Terrell Carter for hosting this forum. As the nation's oldest civil rights organization, the NAACP is committed to educating our community to ensure that Black voters are engaged in the political process and vote in every election. To that end, the Southside branch of the NAACP invited candidates in the June 28 election to a conversation to discuss their qualifications for the office in which they are running. The topic of conversations will focus on the NAACP game changers, which is health, civil rights, education, economic development, criminal justice reform, environmental climate justice, and voting rights. These are the issues that have the most disparate impact on Black communities. So it is important to know where candidates stand on these issues. Now, I will now turn this event over to the moderator, and the moderator for this event is Carolyn Hankins Page, and she will introduce to you the interviewer and the candidate.
Thank you, President Joshua. Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Here at Green Grove Missionary Baptist Church. My name is Carolyn Hankins Page. I am the branch secretary and actual chairman of the Chicago West Side branch of the NAACP. I am also the Connection/Social Action Committee chair and past president of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Lambda Mu Omega chapter, and a member of the NAACP Chicago West Side branch. Our fourth conversation today is with Cook County Commissioner of the 2nd District, Dennis Deere. Mr. Deere was raised on the west side of Chicago and has been the Cook County Commissioner for the 2nd District since 2017. He is the founder of Deere Rehab Services and Law Enforcement Family Training Center, both of which provide services to ex-offenders. Interviewing Mr. Deere is Eddie Johnson III. Mr. Johnson is a Chicago Public School educator, Executive Director of Antioch Community Social Service Agency, and co-chair of the NAACP Southside Branch Political Action Committee. Gentlemen, I now hand this over to both Mr. Johnson and Mr. Deere.
Well, thank you, Cheryl, and we would like to thank everybody for joining us for our conversation with Commissioner Deere. Commissioner, thank you for coming to this candid conversation. I enjoyed speaking with you, like always. Thank you for your service. So,
Thank you.
if you don't mind, give us an opening statement, and then we can start it.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for having me. It's always a delight and a privilege to be in the company of everybody, but particularly NAACP. I would say that they helped me as a launching pad. I was an AXO Award winner. I was glad to hear that. Back in high school, I played the saxophone and for oratory. So the NAACP has been a part of my life, all of my life. And so I'm grateful for you and for being here and encouraging a young brother like me. It's where I get a lot of my pillars from. I am Cook County Commissioner Dennis Deere. I am a candidate running in the 2nd District. I am the current commissioner. My punch number is 121. And I would tell you up front, I'm unapologetically black. I fight for the issues of the people, and I'm concerned about the people. Now, I represent the entire 2nd District, but I would tell you that I am bridging the gap between the west side and the south side, so nobody's left outside. I'm done. I'm tired of the fight between the west side and the south side. Let's joke about it, but when it comes to this, it's serious business. Everybody broke, everybody poor. I won't stand for it. And so I'll leave that as my opening statement, because I'm sure we'll jump into what I have done and what I intend to do to continue to uplift. Shout out to the AKAs in the room. I'm a brother of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Big Roo out there. Thank you for being a partner in hosting this particular arena. That's what the Divine Nine is all about. Service to our community. And I love it when we are living our mantra, when we are living those cardinal principles. For us, it's manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And I always stand on my one, which is manhood.
Well, again, thank you, Commissioner Dare.
Thank you.
We're not going to be long, unless you want to.
It's up to you, brother. You know, we had long conversations already, so let's put it out there
Let's
to
just
the
continue
people.
the conversation.
Let's continue it.
Well, first, again, I want to thank you for your service to this district, Commissioner Dare.
Thank you.
It's an honor sitting here speaking to you on how to improve the district. So my question is going to be very straight to the point, very brief. If elected again to this office, first, from an infrastructure standpoint, do you have any visions or upcoming ideas of how to provide any infrastructure projects for the second district, Cook County?
All right. Well, thank you. I'm not promoted to congressional at this point. This is the Cook County Commissioner, but I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Infrastructure is important. As you very well know, Cook County does not do a lot around infrastructure, but let me tell you what we've done. We get allotted $500,000 a year. A lion's share portion of that has gone to the south side, right? Over $2.5 million has been spent in the district overall. And I will tell you that just this past year, we allocated $300,000 to an infrastructure project that is with Iman. We partnered with Alderman Stephanie Coleman, and that went to there. We've done it in the 18th Ward, partnered with Alderman David Moore. We've done some stuff over in Sawyer's Ward on the south side. We've done some stuff in the 20th Ward. So, and when we talk about infrastructure, up until this point, it has been curbs and streets and potholes and things of that nature. We want to be able, we know we got Green on Racine. We want to contribute to that effort, and that's where the $300,000 came from. I will also indicate that we have put a significant amount, I believe $400,000 into the CSX line, that is the line that runs through Englewood and West Englewood. We wanted to make sure that that line received the necessary repairs. We did that through the Cook County Department of Transportation. The goal, if elected again, if you so choose to, we want to continue to up those numbers. We want to make sure that we can cover every single pothole that we can. We will continue to partner with our local congressmen. We will partner with our local aldermen to make sure that that work gets done.
Thank you. Public safety and mental health and behavioral health is one of the key issues all across the city, all across the country. Before I ask my next question, with that being such a great passion and you have an expertise in that field, I would like to ask you, if reelected, what would be some of the things that you bring to the district in regards to mental health?
Now, you know this answer is going to be long, right? I am a psychologist by training. I have a PhD, long before I was a commissioner. In fact, being a commissioner ain't about the money. Some folks looking for a job. I'm not looking for a job, right? So I took a pay cut for this role. Let me tell you, mental health, let's talk about what we've done already. Mental health is passionate for me. I just did a press conference with the governor and helped sign a bill around mental health just yesterday. right? Governor talked to me afterward and talked about how we can partner together. We have to do a campaign of education because in our community, mental health is taboo. Nobody wants to talk about it. Let me tell you my experience. When I was 10 years old, I witnessed my first murder. I had PTSD and I didn't even know it. That was a defining moment for me, Eddie. It was at that time that I decided I was going to college and I was going to make something of myself and come back to my community and do the right thing. And I did that. But it wasn't until I got to college that they told me if I wanted to major in psychology or any clinical profession, I had to get counseling. Now, in our community, we weren't getting no counseling because they told us if you go to counseling, that means you crazy. And we don't use crazy no more either, but that's what they told us back in the day, right? Even my mom did. So I had to take counseling. And what I found out, Eddie, is that I had post-traumatic stress disorder, and I didn't even know it from that shooting and everything else that was happening in the hood. So the campaign of education that I have been on is to make sure that mental health services is not taboo, right? I've been doing that since I got out of college all the way up until this point. When I first got appointed, 2 months after I was appointed, we talked about this. I went down and talked to the president and said, listen, we need to do an amendment to our budget. We got brothers and sisters that are sitting over in Cook County Jail that have mental health disorders, and when they go out, we ain't got no help for them. We need to allocate some money for this. We were able to successfully do that and allocate $1 million towards those individuals who were incarcerated and getting out of jail. We didn't finish out there. We know that when it comes to health care, and I'm chair of health and hospitals for Cook County, and I'm vice chair of Cook County Health, and we're going to talk about Inglewood Health Center in a minute, but I'm vice chair of Cook County Health. What I knew we were dealing with is racism. Racism we declared as a public health crisis in Cook County. Brought our first chief equity officer in partnership with Madam President and made sure that we focused on equity in Cook County. Secondly, we declared, because mental health is closely related to gun violence, we declared gun violence a public health crisis in Cook County, designated $1 million to the health fund to deal with mental health and violence. Why? Because I had PTSD. And I know so many other people got PTSD. Let me round it up. The third of the trifecta is we declared last fall mental health and the lack of services a public health crisis in Cook County. We designated unanimously on the county board $60 million to ARPA services from ARPA, and that is money that we got from the federal government. We are going to open up the first ever Office of Mental Health in Cook County Health. We're going to deal with the issues. Why? Because it ain't justice. It's just us that keep on getting left out. And yes, I can say I spearheaded it. I spearheaded the resolutions. We did that, right? But it's the help of each and every one of you. Let me digress back. For gun violence, we designated $36 million to the JAC for grants and reducing violence in our communities. So that's what this is about. And we are continuing to push the envelope because this is about us and taking it up the next level. And at the end of the day, it is up to us.
Thank you, Commissioner Deere. My next question is in regards to accessibility. As you know, the 2nd District is on the south side of Chicago as well as the west side.
Yes.
So in regards to accessibility, with it being such a large district, how would your office make itself more accessible to the residents on the south side of Chicago?
Thank you so much for that. The goal for me is accessibility. And as you very well know, we are always a phone call away. This ain't a 9-to-5 job. It's a 24/7 job. I take calls on Sunday. I take calls on Saturday. Look, I take calls on Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's Eve, and the holidays. And I literally got some calls from Inglewood with a young lady, you know the young lady, I won't say her name. She had her sister in the hospital on Thanksgiving Eve. All my family at my house, they were having issues. I took time away from my family and made some phone calls and made sure that her sister was taken care of. So that first and foremost, we are accessible. Most of you all, actually, the community activists and stakeholders actually have my cell phone number. You as well, Eddie. Most of the people have my cell. So I am accessible. I actually come out into the district. I'm not disappearing. I don't do a Houdini routine. I've held more town hall meetings than anybody on the county board, right? So when you go to that poll, make sure you punch 121, because we are out here, we are fighting for the people, we are making sure that you have that accessibility. I have been on the South Side, you can vouch for this, Eddie, more than any of my predecessors. I have held more meetings on the South Side than any of my predecessors. I put more infrastructure dollars than any of the predecessors. I brought President Prattwinkle to the South Side to listen to the community about what your needs are. I took her to the West Side. Look, this goes backwards and forward, because I am bridging the gap between the West Side and the South Side, so nobody's left outside. Now, you know I'm a psychologist. I believe in conditioning. We have conditioning that's taking place, but look, we're going to change all that, because this is about helping take us to the next level. And if you keep me in office, I'm going to assure you that I'm working 24/7 for you as the people.
My last question is in regards to the Cook County Inglewood Health Clinic. The Inglewood Health Clinic has been here less than 20 years. At one point, that was a desert. If you didn't have accessibility to Oak Forest, Providence, or transportation to get to John Stroger, it was pretty much inaccessible for residents to get these services. My question now in regards to the Inglewood Healthcare Clinic is, would you, or how can you use your office to be a better advocate for the residents on the South Side? Because as you know, when people are required to get health services, they're in a very critical mental state, physical state, and the residents on the South Side is appreciative of this clinic, but it just has been an ongoing sour location to service residents where government is supposed to come in and assist residents. So again, my question is, if reelected, how can you use your office to better make the Inglewood Health Clinic more, let's say, more feasible for the resident? Because at this point, no one wants to go. The service, the quality of service is not the best.
Okay.
So how can you use your office to improve some of those services at the Inglewood Health Clinic?
Listen, I appreciate that very much. I will tell you, that's the first time I'm hearing that. So what I would do first and foremost, and we ain't got to wait till I'm reelected, we can do it pronto, right? I want to hear from the community. I want to have a town hall meeting with what you think Inglewood Health Center needs to be doing. I'm chair of Health and Hospitals. So for you to tell me that there are mal issues or there are issues at Inglewood Health Center, I got a big problem with that. I'm vice chair of the Health and Hospital Board. And so that's actually, I take care of everybody's district, but that's in my district. So to know that we got issues with Inglewood Health Center, I want to know. I wasn't about it. So I want to hear from the people first, because it ain't about what I can do. It's about what the people want. I am and let me say this to the people directly at the camera. I am your representative on the Cook County Board. What I think don't matter. You sent me there to represent. I hold town hall meetings and listen to the people. Why? Because I want to know what you think. Before we hired a new CEO for Cook County Health, we held town hall meetings everywhere, all across the district, and invited everybody. Why? We didn't want a CEO that was going to forget about the minorities that live in the community, and we service them the most. I didn't want them forgetting about black people, to be quite honest. And so I am here representing you. So Eddie, to your question, help me with the community. You are a well-informed stakeholder in the community. Help me with the community to put on a town hall meeting talking specifically about health care. And in Inglewood, I will be here and ensure that the voices of the people are heard. And I would say to you, make sure on June the 28th, you punch 121. Go to my website. Everything that I've ever done outside of what he's talked about now is on my website, www.deerfordistrict2.com. That's Deer, D-E-E-R, 4-F-O-R, District, D-I-S-T-R-I-C-T, and the number 2.com. We even got a video there. But you will learn everything we've done in this community and a little bit more. We didn't stop during the pandemic. We fed 5,000 people over the pandemic. We gave out tons of masks and educated people over the pandemic. I'm not a sit-down type of person, and I never will be. I'll end with this. Socrates said a long time ago, Eddie, if you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you've always got. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. The next one is a deerism. I mean, I made it up. In order for you to get something you never had, you got to do something you never done. We're doing that here in the 2nd County District, and we're doing such a great job that the Secretary of Health and Human Services asked us to be on the National Institute of Health Council to help them deal with drug abuse and mental health issues. And that we're doing a great job. Only you can help me continue to do that. Thank you, NAACP and AKAs, for hosting this. And remember, punch 121 on June 28th and doing early voting.
Thank you, Commissioner Deere. Are there any questions?
Madam.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Deere.
You're welcome.
Okay, you represent the south side, and what community areas on the south side and the west side do you represent? And connecting to that is that there's over 750,000 black folks in the city of Chicago, and so there are other areas that is covered by your fellow commissioners.
Yes.
Okay, so if you could tell me what those districts are. Thank you.
Those areas that I cover, right?
Yeah.
So
and
I
then
cover.
your fellow, so that to ensure.
So I can't get into what they cover.
Oh, okay.
I can talk about what the 2nd District is, because they have maps of their own, and I have a map, right? The 2nd County District map. So I can focus on that, and then I can say, hey, the other stuff is covered by my other fellow commissioners, but they have a map of their district that they actually cover. My map covers the south and west side and a good swath of the loop, right? So we cover the 24th Ward, on the west side, the 28th Ward, the 27th Ward. On downtown, we cover the 42nd Ward. We cover the 1st Ward and the 2nd Ward. Heading south, we cover the 3rd Ward. We cover the 20th Ward, we cover the 17th and the 18th Ward, and we cover the 16th and 15th Wards south. So we have over 300,000 residents and constituents that I interact with. They are diversified, both socioeconomically as well as ethnically. I go from Chinatown to Little Italy to Blacktown to Greek Town to every other town. So we are very diverse, and we have the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor. That's why we spend our time bridging the gap, and we have relationships all over our district, because I don't believe in sitting down. My brain don't work like that. I'm always trying to think, as Eric B. and Rakim said, of a master plan, right? So I'm trying to figure out the next goal to help our people come up. And what we want your goal to be is to punch 121. And remember, the choice is clear. Re-elect and vote for Dennis Deere.
All right. Any other questions? Okay.
Bring them, I'm ready for questions.
Yes.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you. And the little one.
Thank you for, being so informative. You did just share a lot of information for me. I actually, haven't followed like things that you've, done, so I'm glad to be here to hear. Do you do anything, in the community as far as like block clubs? Like, do you have anything as far as block beautification? Cause I have like a lot of lots on my block and I'm trying to do something with them, make it innovative for the children.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat the question for the audience, for the website and the, Facebook page. Resident wants to know, do you have any plans or policies to help block clubs, help blocks become more beautiful, more appealing to the residents and their children?
So I won't tell you I got plans for that. We already doing that, right? But remember, I told you that that's mostly what we work with our aldermen with, because our land is so vast. But when I work with our aldermen of all those wards that I talked about, they invite us out, and we actually contribute. We'll get our partners at PepsiCo to donate drinks. We'll take money out of our own funds. We just donated a bunch of hot dogs and hamburgers. Because guess what? We are about our youth. And we don't just donate, we show up at the event, right? And so yes, we work with block clubs. We would ask you to connect with your alderman, and your alderman tell them you talk to me. And said that, hey, I'm going to help sponsor whatever your event is. And I'll make sure that, hey, whatever you need, we'll make sure that you get it. That is about partnership. We do the same with our state representatives, right? All of us actually work together. Why? Because we supposed to. We supposed to be working together. And so if we can't do it together, we shouldn't do it at all. So that's my response to your question. I look for, who is your alderman?
Stephanie Coleman.
Outstanding. I have sponsored so many events with Alderman Coleman. I think the last one we sponsored with her was a Valentine's Day event for the senior citizens. Stephanie is my sister from another mother, and we sponsor a ton of events with her. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate you very much. And you remember Punch 121.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Deere, Mr. Johnson.
This was so much fun.
I'm glad you
I had a good time.
enjoyed
Yes.
it.
Eddie always knew how to ask the hard questions.
That's why we have him here.
Indeed.
That's why he's a co-chair
Thank
of
you,
the Political
Lord.
Action Committee.
Appreciate it.
Excuse me, one more question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Good day, Commissioner Deere. My name is Deanna Little. I am the CEO and the co-founder of Fresh Start Home. We are a community-based nonprofit organization that was created here in Inglewood, coming back to advance housing and community development activities and just solutions. And I just wanted to know, how can we help?
Good. I like that question. That's an excellent question. I'll go back to being chair of health and hospitals. One of the things I focus on is the social determinants of health, right? They're running rampant in our community, and the first ring of the social determinant of health ladder is housing. We have to ensure that people have housing. So for suburban Cook County, we are helping with the housing. The city side kind of helps the city with housing, but we should talk. Because just because the county don't do it, don't mean ain't nobody else doing it. So I work closely with NHS, National Housing Services. My good friend is there, longtime friend, we partner. I work with Dearborn Realty. Some of those individuals will partner. In fact, Vienna, right?
Sure.
I want to invite you out. And I forgot to say this, if you'll allow me. We celebrate Juneteenth, right? Because I'm unapologetically black. And myself and Commissioner Stanley Moore made it a Cook County holiday. So people would get off. Why? Because we deserve it. That's Freedom Day. We took it a step further. I spearheaded along with some of my other colleagues, Juneteenth celebration. We got a 2-day conference. One of those days we got a housing fair, Miss Vianna. Talk to David or Melvin, my people here, so we can get you out there. We got panels talking about this stuff. Why? Because this is about education. But not only education, because that education is never neutral. It's either liberating or oppressing. Education will either set you free or put you into bondage. We're teaching liberation education, 2 full days, completely free, free lunch, free panels. We giving out scholarships Thursday evening. We got African drummers. The AKAs coming to set a stroll out. The bros coming to set out a hop. Look, come out there, enjoy yourself, but get this liberation education. And that's to everybody in this group. Go to www.juneteenthillinois.com. Register for this free event. Come out, find out some other stuff we're doing on the other side of the continuum, outside the county. But guess what? It's all about you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we hope the audience found this conversation to be useful in deciding which candidate to vote for Cook County Commissioner's 2nd District race. Membership is the lifeblood of the NAACP. If you would like to join the NAACP Southside branch, please visit our website at naacpcss.org. You may join us for as little as $35 per year. We also invite you to our monthly general meetings held every 3rd Saturday of the month via Zoom. You may find that information on our website, naacpcss.org. We're not done for the day. Please continue to join us as we talk to Monica Gordon, who is running for the 5th District, which is an open seat for Cook County Commissioner. We'll also have Andre Smith and Jalen McClinton, who are also running for Cook County Commissioner districts. Thank you.